English language teaching. Under the covers.
Hello and welcome to ELT Under the Covers, ELT React, where we as education professionals, we look at the good, the bad and the ugly of the teaching clips on the internet. Today we have a question for you. What if the professors from the Hogwarts School of Wizardry taught at a muggle school? How would they teach? Would it be any good? Let's take a look at Professor Snape. But first, introductions. I'm Neil of Team Teacher.
Hello everybody, it's Professor Reach.
This very first clip is from probably one of the most famous teachers, professors there. Sirius Snape, as played by the esteemed and wonderful Alan Rickman. The rough and ready Rickman. Dun dun dun.
How many people do you use that for? Anyway, let's move on.
Anyone with an R name.
Turn to page 394.
I thought he was going to go with PowerPoint then.
Seemed like it.
Excuse me, sir. Where's Professor Lupin?
That's not really your concern, is it, Potter? Suffice it to say that your professor finds himself incapable of teaching at the present time. Turn to page
Shut down.
394.
I wish I had that in class.
But sir, we've just begun learning about red caps and hinky punks. We're not meant to start nocturnal beasts for weeks.
Quiet.
Did she come in? Did you see her come in?
Now, which one of you can tell me the difference between an animagus and a werewolf? No one. How disappointing.
Please, sir. An animagus is a wizard who elects to turn into an animal. A werewolf has no choice. With each full moon, when he transforms, he no longer remembers who he is. He'd kill his best friend if he crossed his path. Furthermore, the werewolf only responds to the call
Exposition
of fate.
machine.
Thank you, Mr. Malfoy. That is the second time you have spoken out of turn, Miss Granger. Are you incapable of restraining yourself, or do you take pride in being an insufferable know-it-all?
Called her out.
As an antidote to your ignorance, and on my desk by Monday morning, 2 rolls of parchment on the werewolf, with particular emphasis on recognizing it.
Sir, it's Quidditch tomorrow.
Then I suggest you take extra care, Mr. Potter. Loss of limb will not excuse you. Page 394. Werewolf is a contraction of the Anglo-Saxon word were, which means man, and wolf, werewolf, man, wolf. There are several ways to become a werewolf. They include being given the power of shapeshifting, being bitten by a werewolf.
Classroom notes.
Okay.
There we go. So that's the teaching stylings of Snape, Sirius Snape.
Mhm.
What can we derive from this?
Well, he's pretty cool, isn't he? No doubt about that.
Very comes across. I think he's known as being stern and serious and serious.
Yeah, he has that sort of old school disciplinarian type thing going on, right? The way he sort of slams the windows shut.
Yeah, he's kind of like the old cliche of a teacher.
Right. Let's get down to business. He's got that turn to page, blah, 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 which is almost like that's like an archetype of a tedious lesson, isn't it? First thing you do is turn to page, whatever the page number is, right?
Like that's magically going to teach you something.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea that the very first thing you should be doing in the class is turning to a page in a book.
Yeah, without even kind of engaging the students. saying hello, or you're trying to be, you know, get their attention with, oh, something. I mean, he's teaching about werewolves. You know,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, what's this, kids?
That's it. Yeah.
What do
Could
you
be
know?
pretty cool.
I mean, he does kind of have those images up, right? And he does ask them, you know, like, do you know the difference between this and this? That, I mean, that's pretty decent
true.
to engage them. But then, what was the whole open to 394 part? You just, you know, get to that when you get to it.
And then he starts dictating, which is probably him dictating what something related to the book, or actually the book itself. What's he say? He says something that werewolf is a contraction of Anglo-Saxon.
He starts dropping just knowledge about werewolves at the end, because he's saying, like, oh, where is the contraction of man, or so it's like man wolf or something like that. So he's kind of giving info about it, but he's, you know, why? What is the whole plan of this? And he gave them homework. Right. He gave them homework before they even done anything about this.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
quite
done
funny.
any
Yeah. I've never seen that before, actually. That's an interesting thing to do, isn't it? You start the class by saying you're going to be doing 2 essays worth of homework on this. Gets people to pay attention, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, if you kind of think about it, and take away the fact that he's in a magical institute, he's, you know, an esteemed professor, and look at what he's done. He walks into the class. He doesn't greet the students whatsoever. He starts bringing down a slide thing, and then as he's trying to set up his class and his slides, he's telling them to turn to a page on a book, and then he's asking them a question about something that they don't know, throwing random images up. Then he tells them that, oh yeah, you're going to be doing a homework project based on the stuff that I haven't even taught you yet. And then getting them to turn to that book, and then they're all confused, and we wonder why.
I think the only thing he does, you know, praiseworthy in that is when he slams Hermione. What's her name? Hermione, whatever. I don't know.
Hermione.
He definitely tells her where it's at, doesn't he? Are you always an insufferable know-it-all? Brilliant. I didn't get the thing where.
That to a kid.
Well, that's my standard intro. Ask him a question, wait and responds, and then just turn around and go, "Are you always an insufferable know-it-all?"
Wait, I got to get my notepad down and write that down.
So I didn't quite get what Ron was saying about where did she appear from or something.
It's a running gag. He goes into, he's in the class and he doesn't see her ever enter the class, but she always answers a question, and he's like, where the hell did she come from?
Okay. All right.
It's a running gag from him, but he's also a bit of an idiot.
Because the scene itself seemed quite serious. I mean, I assume that's quite later on in the stories, right? Because they're quite old in that.
Oh yeah, there's, you know, a whole bunch of different classroom scenes. We're completely out of order here. We don't care. Right. We're taking a page 394 from Sirius Snape's book and just randomly throwing shit at the wall in this video. Put together. But it's funny because she's in terms of narrative storytelling, she's the exposition machine. So she just explains a whole bunch of stuff that you need to know for the story to progress.
I see, yeah.
Do you ever feel like your students in your class are like that? You know, like you're asking them a question, and really you don't really want the answer that much. You just want them to give you an explanation so you don't have to do it.
I don't know quite about that, but there's definitely this kind of student who wants to explain things for other students.
Yeah.
And it can actually, I mean, it can be nice, I guess, because you got student to student, what do you call it, learner correction? I can't even remember what you call it now. But, you know, when another learner in the class is providing the kind of teacher's job for another learner, right? But also it can be annoying because sometimes what you'll do is you'll address a student who's struggling a bit and needs to think about it. And then someone, you know, you get this a lot in like the Mediterranean countries, don't you? They want to help, by basically telling them what to say. And it's like, that's not going to help. That's not going to, this is not a classroom where you need to impress the teacher. So it doesn't, you're not helping them.
Well, people have different ideas of help. They see someone struggling and they think that the way to help them is to just give them the answer, and that's not the way to help them. You know, like if a child's learning to walk, you don't, help the child always stand up. You give them time to be able to kind of, try and get up in different ways and fall on the face, and get up in different ways and fall on the face. There's a whole lot of falling on the face as a child in my household. But, that's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes.
That's right.
But yeah, so I agree with it. I think a lesson that will work really well for Hermione is like one of those LPL styled, where you give the student, okay, here's your, here's the thing that you have to learn about that you are going to then teach about in a forthcoming class.
That's it.
Kids love stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Those clips we've just looked at were actually part of a larger video looking at Hogwarts classroom scenes from the Harry Potter franchise. If you're looking to watch that full video, check out the link below. If you're wanting to look at more professors or more scenes from the Hogwarts school and Harry Potter series, please leave the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching.
If you're looking for more information from myself, you can go to teamteacherchina.com. We've got a whole bunch of materials, PowerPoints that you can use instantly in the classroom. We've got a Team Teacher China YouTube channel where we have videos teaching you how to use those materials. Team Teacher English, where we put those materials into a video form for self-study. And Team Teacher Baby, where I take my experience as a teacher and put that into parenting.
And go to youtube.com/Professor Rich to see some English teaching. You can catch me weekly live streams on Oxford Online English YouTube channel. Oh, and also you can do a YouTube search for POG space UK, and you would get my alpha version of my new gaming channel, which actually just have some trial content on there at the moment. You can email us here at eltunderthecovers@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to contribute to the show.
Smash that like button, share and subscribe.
And watch 100% of the video and don't click off. Thank you.
Bye.